Hey, so I wanted to show you a really quick cake tutorial. Of course, I've sped this up, but I'm just using my crusting buttercream on this cake. It's a 6-inch round. It is a champagne flavored cake with a raspberry jam filling, and that's just your vanilla buttercream icing. So I'm using my scraper there to get it as smooth as I can, and then you're gonna see me go back with a Viva paper towel. Make sure you get the signature cloth so that there's no designs on it, and you press the soft side of the cloth against the cake. Now you can actually let your cake sit for about 5 to 10 minutes before you do this if you feel like your icing's a little too soft, but because mine's a thicker crusting buttercream, I can do it almost right away. So I use my hand and then I go back with a fondant smoother as you see there, and I do the same thing, and it gives me a nice crisp edge and really smooth on the side. And this is just me mixing up some yellow food coloring. This is the lemon yellow. I like the AmeriColor gel food coloring, and it only takes a little bit to get this perfect lemon yellow color. So now I'm just creating a large mound of the vanilla buttercream on top because I'm going to cover this in yellow roses. This is a very old school style cake. I still get orders for these every month, several a month, as a matter of fact, just people wanting the buttercream icing with the classic rose. So I create a mound so that my roses will kind of sit up in the center like a bouquet, and I'm slowing this one down a little bit. This is still a little faster than real time, but you can get the idea. I'm using a tip 104, making sure that the thin side of that teardrop shape of the tip is pointed up, and I'm just wrapping those around. And I do have other videos where I do this a lot slower and give you more detail on that if you would like to check those out. But these just are classic, simple, and if you've been doing it as long as I have, are a really easy addition to all cakes. So once you kind of create your mound, and you're just going to place, as you saw, I started one in the middle and then I am placing the others around it. I think I ended up with 6 maybe, 5 around and then 1 on top, I think it was. And then I go back here shortly and I use that same tip, but I pipe directly on the cake, kind of between the roses where there's empty spots. And I do that so it looks kind of like little rosebuds or petals that have kind of fallen off around the cake. You've probably seen this on a lot of sheet cakes, use that technique. And so I just grab my icing bag and pipe it directly on the cake. And I just kind of wrap it around, almost like you're making a little loop, and it creates like a folded petal. And then of course you have to have the leaves, and on a leaf tip they're kind of shaped like a V on the end when you look at it, so you want to make sure the point side is down against your buttercream icing when you go to pipe those leaves. And then of course an old school kind of classic border, just using a 21 star tip to create like that wave pattern, and you just kind of go up and over each additional piece. And then I went back and I thought, oh, it needed something on the side. So I added a few little swags. I'm using a number 4 tip here. I didn't take the time to etch out where I was going to put those. With a 6-inch round, I can usually eyeball it. And then I did go back and add a few dots here and there. And then even when I'm doing details like this on the dots, I hate those little peaks that pop out when you pipe. And so I do go back again with another Viva paper towel like I'm doing here, and I just barely apply a little bit of pressure, and it just puts those dots back down. And then I added some non-edible gold butterflies per the customer's request.